Okay, someone recently threw out Earth 43 Batman versus Wolverine. Don't know who Earth 43 Batman is? That's Red Rain Batman. Don't know who Red Rain Batman is? This is Vampire Batman. Now, Earth 43 was the old one. I think he's Earth 23 now. Because this is one that's from, like, the 90s. So from the time this one was done, this was 91, so it would have been post-Crisis, but pre-Infinite Crisis. That also would make it pre-Zero Hour, pre-Final Night, pre-Final Crisis, pre-Flashpoint, which means a pre-New 52. So it was Earth 43 back then, or Red Rain Batman, or Vampire Batman. Even though Vampire Batman that they do now is a modern interpretation of the Elseworlds story, this is the 1991 version of that character. I know a lot of prologue. So I have to do this for my 9-point system, where it's intelligence, fighting ability, strength, speed, durability, invulnerability, energy projection, this is how well you are at range, versatility, and overall X factor. We'll get right into this. So you have Vampire Batman versus Wolverine. I'm taking both these guys in kind of their 90s personas. So even though he is still a vampire, he's still a master detective. Fighting ability. In the 90s, especially this time, Batman, good martial artist, but he wasn't drawn the way, written the way that he is now. At this time, Wolverine was a tremendous martial artist. The way he's normally done now is he's just kind of like the random Berserker Rage. So it's pretty much his healing factor getting him through fights, where back in the day, he was a really skilled tactician. Strength. This is Vampire Batman. He's got a tremendous amount of strength. They show him like tossing cars with one hand. That's well beyond the strength he's seen Wolverine do. Even though Wolverine being laced with adamantium, he does have a tremendous amount of, just raw physical strength because he's walking around at about a ton. But he's not flipping over cars one-handed. Batman also had a level of super speed. I think they put him like near the speed of sound. It's definitely going to give him an edge against Wolverine. Durability. This one could kind of go either way, but I'm going to go Wolverine because of his healing factor. Wolverine's healing factor doesn't require any sort of outside stimulus to keep going. Batman's healing factor, even as a vampire, requires an amount of blood to keep himself going. Invulnerability. This one I had to look at, it's going to be Wolverine with the added density of his bones, letting him absorb more impact from bludgeoning, or a similar sort of thing where you have the first one's actually a vampire. Great job when it comes to the reduction of bludgeoning and slashing damage. Really only affected by things that are silver and wood, just not adamantium. As well as a pretty decent amount of Batman armor. What he's wearing now is light years ahead of what he had on back then. But I have to look at armor and level of vulnerability versus the heightened density you're going to have because of the adamantium bones. I have to give invulnerability to Batman in this case. Energy projection. You got Batman with all of his tools and tricks that he had back in the 90s, as well as all the vampire abilities. A range. This Batman beat Dracula. Wolverine was not able to defeat Dracula when he took on the X-Men. Wolverine was one of the last people standing, but he was not able to defeat Dracula. Batman was, yet he bled to death, which made him a vampire, but he still was able to defeat him. Versatility. It's Batman with all of his skills, all of his tricks, all of his tools, and he's a freaking vampire. So beyond all the batarangs, beyond all the tools that he brings with him, he's got so many other abilities. You're probably thinking about Wolverine could easily track him. The heightened senses, heightened hearing, the ability to smell him, that's all Batman. Batman is now eclipsed what Wolverine can do with his skill set. X Factor. This one I'm going to give to Wolverine. Wolverine has shown in the past that he's kind of immune to being bitten by a vampire. It affects him for a little bit, but not for a long period of time, thus making this fight 6-3. When it's Batman Wolverine, just normally, Batman doesn't have a way of stopping Wolverine. Now you've got super speed, super strength Batman. And Wolverine has in the past tried to make the crucifix symbol, since he doesn't believe, it doesn't have any sort of actual power behind it. So Vampire Batman, Wolverine, sorry Wolverine, you're taking on a jacked up version of Batman that is going to be able to defeat you.